I want to be one of the rats in Muppets Take Manhattan. They ice skate on the butter.
Gabby Cohen, who is the global head of integrated marketing and communications for Harry's.
Was the front desk at Club Med post-college when I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Got the bug for hospitality and customer experience and customer service. And I really do think that's been the through line of my career in some sort of way without being overt. I got recruited to Soulcycle, after being in PR for hotels and destinations. And it was really my love of hospitality. I think for them, that was the draw, was really around creating magical experiences and telling wonderful stories. I spent 8 years at Soulcycle, I call myself the Soulcycle sieve. So if it fell through the cracks, I caught it and sort of figured it out. It helped to scale almost every area of the business, from 4 studios to over 90 when I left. I actually consulted for Harry's during that time. I helped them launch Flamingo, which was their first foray into a women's brand and was their first sort of incubated launch outside of the Harry's brand. Spent a great summer working with them, getting Flamingo off the ground, and had the opportunity to be the chief brand officer at Rent the Runway, which was really, at the time, something I couldn't turn down. After 2 amazing years, and obviously with the pandemic, the business had taken quite a bit of a stall. I decided to move on and started, chatting with my friends over at Harry's again, and was, on consulting for a while. And then, after, several months of that, said, all right, guys, I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay. And so that's so thrilled to be back with the team at Harry's. And listen, I think the business it's a really exciting time. Harry's Inc. is so much more than I think what often people think of as, a razor brand, which is unbelievable. But what started as really a men's razor brand has expanded to 4 businesses. I have an ability to find a commonality with whoever I'm connecting to or talking to. And that has been really, it's unnerving. It unnerves people in a good way, right? Like it takes people's blood pressure down, and like just finding a moment of connectivity is really helpful. Stop worrying about what's next. Like just focus on what's now. I think I spent so much time being like, what's next for me? What am I supposed to do next? Like, what does my career look like? And versus just like, put your head down, do great work, and that will come. Sometimes it's just about like doing exactly what's in front of you. I always believe in finding the yes. And it doesn't mean at your expense, but it means that you come from a yes mindset. Just figure it out. Be entrepreneurial. Don't ask like 100,000 questions. Ask some questions, get clarity, but then go and come back to me if you need me. Open and honest conversation is really important, and giving and receiving feedback. Like as a leader, I want to know how I'm doing, and how can I do better? I think I'm always learning, and the same for my team. Development is a 2-way street, and that your teams have to be as engaged in how they can develop and grow versus like expecting a roadmap that your boss is going to give you in how to develop and grow. Be kind. Treat people like you want to be treated. And I'm talking everyone. Like I would often take people when I was interviewing them to a Soulcycle class because I wanted to see how they treated the front desk. And I wanted to see how they treated the cleaning staff. They are equally as important, if not more important, than everyone else in that room. And it's the same way as going to get a cup of coffee. Like, are they saying, yeah, please and thank you? Those things matter. Getting to know people to get to know them. Like what motivates them, where they're from, what they like to do outside of work. Like I could ask a million questions about people, whether it's through the interview process or whether it's just as being part of my team. Because then we can have real honest conversations, because it's not the only time they hear from me is when I'm telling them what to do differently. And the same for me, like I'm pretty much an open book with my team. We're all human, and we all make mistakes, and we all have other things going in our lives. And I think that's really important to be transparent, not overly transparent that you're like, crying at the office all the time, but just letting people know where you are and where you stand. And there's just a lot of noise. I think people are exhausted from it's like information overload. And I think so it's almost like some people have gone so far to the left to like shut it down, that I think that's problem. And trust, right? Like I think we consumers and people have somewhat lost trust in the world to a degree. So I think it's like really gaining trust back. I think it's really being able to break through. I think it's true connectivity. Like I think it's interesting. I saw a story the other day that was like, brands have vowed not to market products for Mother's Day. And I just found that really powerful. It's like, in a way, like, let's try not to use all the holidays as a way to sell product. I'm a voracious reader of everything. Like I would say I'm a voracious, probably media consumer. And I feel confident in saying, I think I consume more media than anyone else on the planet, whether it's like, and I'm always doing 10 things at once. Like I'm listening to a podcast while I'm running, while I'm taking a call, while I'm like I'm reading an article in the paper, while I'm also watching the news, while I'm like, so I do tend to take in a lot of information. And that to me is really inspiring, and that like, it'll give me a spark for an idea for something else. At Soulcycle, we launched a Soulcycle cookie with Milk Bar with Christina Tosi called Soul Fuel. And the whole idea was like a really healthy cookie filled with macadamia nuts and like healthy oils. And it was like a great pre or post item. Commercially, it was an absolute fail. Nobody bought the cookie. We had so much press out of the cookie. So I think what we did was a mistake going in saying like, we're going to sell this. We feel confident in our sales. Like at the end of the day, we should have said, we have no idea if we're going to sell cookies, but we know we're going to get a lot of press out of it.